being put on Levy, not just from the fans, but from within the board. I'm sure they were saying, Daniel, we can't carry on like this. I'm sure that Joe Lewis himself would have had conversations with Daniel saying, it looks like we might need a change of direction. We need to go to the next level. Maybe you're not the man to take it to that level, right? So for me, you guys can discuss whether you think it's waffle, whether it's the truth. I couldn't care less. We've been protesting and championing this for years. Now it's gone. Now he's gone. I'm delighted. And Johnny, you were at the protest as well, though, bro. You were at the protest. You were at the front telling us which way to walk. So
yeah, it doesn't. But that was a while ago, mate. I rethought things over the period.
All right.
But listen,
you teamed up with Sean on YouTube and you changed your mind. I get it. But
whoa! I've always supported the protest. I don't. Hang on a second. Wait.
Protesting, but you weren't for it. You just support the idea of being allowed to do it.
I promoted them. I support them. Yeah. I just don't share the opinion that Daniel Levy was a bad chairman. So by the way, I'm always up for. I like change. I've lived in 4 different countries. I've changed country 3 years. I love change. I'm excited about what's coming, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and allow you to position me as anti anything. I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I promoted everything. I talked about it. I respect the right to do it. I just personally don't think it has any impact, which is where I'll disagree with you. And 2, I just don't subscribe to this notion that he's a terrible chairman. I think he has put us on this position now that maybe someone else can come in and take us to the next level. Without Daniel Levy's ownership, without his chairmanship, that wouldn't necessarily be the case. But I want to, before I get into a back and forth with you, Stel, if you finished your point, if you haven't, carry on.
Yeah, I'd like to finish my point. I'm the only one who doesn't interrupt everyone else when they have their bit, but okay.
Well, you can't expect me to not jump in when you accuse me of what you just did. Like,
you can wait till I finish and then say, right, well, here's my response. But it's cool. Listen, I'm cool with it. I can take it when you 3 all want to team up. I'm used to it every week. For me, facts.
Infamy. They've all got it in for me.
1 week you protest, 1 week you don't, 1 week you're happy with it, next week you're not. I mean, I've been consistent with the protest from day one, and I've never shied away from it. For me, I'm delighted that all those fans that attended the protest, they've got most of what they want. This isn't everything I want. I want Enoch out. I want them gone as well. But as a starting point, I'm delighted with this. I'm delighted that we're now going to have at least a new set of eyes on the football and a new direction from above to take us in a pathway that I want, which is more ambitious. I hope that's where we go now. But yeah, look, Sean, to answer your question, I'm fucking delighted he's gone. Good. Now we can start hopefully behaving like a proper big football club, which is what I've always asked for. And if that's what they do over the next 2-3 years, I'm going to have to bite my tongue and wait. They're going to need some time now to prove it. But if that's the direction we go in, then you bloody well know Levy was the problem. And you know what? Last thing I'll say, at least now football clubs might be happy to start dealing with us in the transfer market a bit more.
I agree with that.
Shut down by Man Cities and Crystal Palaces anymore.
I can absolutely get on board that. Sava, I'll come to you, mate. Was Daniel Levy the problem all along, or was he the creator of the springboard in which we can now jump from? And more importantly, did protests work?
I'll say protest did absolutely nothing. But listen, that's only my opinion. I don't really care that much about it. We all knew as soon as we saw that news, protest, they're going to take their bit. Change for Tottenham, they're going to take their bit. Everyone's going to want a little piece of this medal, aren't they, to say that they did it. I've said to you all along, Sean. I've said to you all along. Yeah, Lewis will make a decision when he does, or Daniel Levy will step down when he does. I don't believe that when you're dealing with £4 billion businesses, they give a shit about 2,000 fans outside a stadium. That's only my opinion. I've not moved from that. Tonight doesn't change my opinion on that. So I haven't really got anything to argue on that point. I've always felt the same thing. At the end of the day, I don't care about that, if I'm brutally honest. You're 50-50 from what you've said, Sean. 50-50. Yeah, Daniel Levy, I think, is a massive problem for a lot of things, yes. But has he left a springboard for somebody else to come in and take us to the next level? Yes. I think it's a bit of both. And I think I've come to appreciate that second part more as I've got older. Right? As I've got older, I've come to appreciate more that if somebody comes in now and can start buying top players and actually doing what everyone wants, then you do have to turn around and say, okay, well, look, Daniel Levy did put that in place. But the frustrating thing is that Daniel Levy put it in place for Daniel Levy and didn't want to act on it as such. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I kind of agree with Johnny on this. Like, I'm not massively shocked, and I'm going to give Lubo some massive credit here, because Lubo and I, when we were streaming before the transfer window opened, we were having these conversations. I'm sure you remember, Lubo. We were saying there must be a reason why Ange wasn't sacked. We were saying it, right? There must be a reason. And then when we found out that Charrington had come in, Lubo first said, well, Charrington's come in now. When I looked into it, we said, right, there's going to be a clean sweep, right? There's going to be a clean sweep at this football club. Everyone's going to go. The whole thing's going to change. Up to last week, I was like, I was nearly right. Just Lang and Levy left. Now, just Johan Lang. Johan Lang, at the moment, obviously we know that the Don's coming back in a couple of weeks. At the moment, it looks like Lang is the only one that has survived from the coaches, from the manager. It looks like it's all changed, the board. So look, I'm cool with it. Let's see. I think the biggest question is going to be, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a bit later, is does this mean takeover? Is that what Charrington's here to oversee? Is he here to oversee a takeover? Is he here to oversee a period of calm? I.e., is he going to have it for the next 2 to 3 years and then sell? We'll wait and see. But I'll be interested to know with Lubo and Stell is that the moment we don't have a good transfer window, where's the who are they throwing rotten bananas at? Because it's not Daniel Levy anymore. So who are they blaming next time we can't get an Eze over the line? Is it Levy or is it going to move to Vinay or Charrington?
They're finally going to learn that sometimes you zoom out a little bit. Football, that's the thing. Lubo, I know you've been waiting patiently. Oh, sorry, Sam, have you finished? Sorry, mate.
I'm done, mate. I'm done.
Lubo, mate, I know you've been waiting patiently, buddy. I didn't mean to come to you last, mate, but talk to me, man. I know you're celebrating. I can see Mrs. Lubo's going to have a good time tonight. What's going on? What's going on, buddy? What's going on?
Can I just say, Adam Phillip commented, Lubo's 7-point manifesto had more impact than a CFC protest. To someone else who said, will my hair grow back now that Levy's gone? I've heard of some treatments, but not that one. Can't see that working. And to Jaron Johnson, I'm not finished, mate. I'm just getting started. So just delighted. Please, somebody comes in, someone who runs the football club. I don't expect them to love the club like we do, but just respect the club, respect the history and traditions, put a museum in, put the statues in. This is a fantastic club. And this geezer's disrespected our club since the day he came in. Now, the only credit I'll give him, just so people don't think I'm not measured, the